We've covered our cake drum. Now I'm going to show you how you can add a textured effect to that. The one I've got here is a wood effect. You see it's got the different grains of wood and it looks like knots in it. And it has a raised surface and then it's got a flat surface, and the raised surface is the one that you want to put down onto the cake drum. So we just place that in position. You can push it down with your hands, but it's better to just get hold of your rolling pin and just roll it away from you like that. That will just make sure that the pattern is really well embossed onto the cake drum. And then we just pick that up, and then we're going to just move that across to this side. And we push that down onto this side. And we're going to just roll that over again. There. Now if you get a part that's not come out really clearly, which I've got here, you can just go over it again. So don't worry if it doesn't look completely right first time, you can just go over it again. And there we are. And we'll just push that right to the edge and lift that up, and then we've got an embossed pattern right the way off across our cake drum. I'm just running my fingers around the outside to just push the sugar paste back to where it was. And now we can add a textured effect to this as well. What you could do, this is a wood effect, so if you wanted to make this look like floorboards, you could, with a knife, just mark on some lines like this, so that it looked like a floorboard effect. Or if you're after a sort of natural tree effect, you can just leave it like it is. You can use the back of the knife to make it a bit deeper. That's so that you've got your floorboards. Just make the grooves a bit deeper in it. And then you can also have a join. You'd want to have a join in your floorboards as well. So we just put one in there, and we'll put one in there. And then if you want to add a nail effect, you can use the end of a piping tube. I've got a number 3 plain nozzle there, and you can just push that in so it looks like a little nail effect in the wood, like that. So that looks a bit like floorboards. Now all we want to do is make that stand out a lot more. So I've got a little bowl here with some brown food colour. This is a paste colour. And then I'm going to add some rejuvenator spirit to it, to the bowl. And then with my brush, I've got quite a long flat brush, we're going to mix some of this colour into the water. So it's a paste colour mixed with rejuvenator spirit. And we're after a sort of paste effect. That's a little bit too thick for what I'm after. I need it to be not too thick because it needs to run into all the grooves, which will make the wood effect stand out. There, that's a bit better. Let's give that a go. You can always go over it again afterwards with a thinner solution. So you just paint your way along the wood like this. Just paint through it like that. It's still a little bit thick. Add a little bit more. Want it a little bit runnier than that so that it runs into all the groove marks. You want some of it to be darker than other parts of it. We still want a bit more in there. There, that's better. You could practice this on a little piece of sugar paste first before you actually do your actual cake or your drum. And when you've got the little knot effect, you can do it a little bit thicker in there. If you add a bit more colour and then brush over it, it highlights it a bit. And the same where the floorboards are. You want to make sure you get the colour into there, and then you get a nice smooth finish on it, and it makes, see how the wood is standing out now. So we go all the way across the cake drum like this. And you particularly pick out, see there's a big knot there, so if you get some colour into that, that will stand out nicely. And it's beginning to look a lot more like wood. If you get the colour all over it, then you can adjust it a bit better afterwards. Get this all the way over. Get it running into those wood knot effect there. Keep brushing the same way as well. So all one way, so you finish in the same place, and then you've got to try and get rid of those brush lines like that. So if you just go over it again, there you've got a wood effect on your cake drum. If it's a little bit too thick, just use a bit of watered down rejuvenator spirit and just put it over it if you want to thin it down a little bit. There, so we've got floorboards on this side and just a natural wood effect on the other side. This is the wood effect board now that it's all dried, and you can see that it's emphasised the pattern there, the knots in the wood where the colour has sat in it, and it's actually made it stand out quite a lot more.